There's a common saying, you don't know what you have until you lose it. Most people learn this lesson in life, but I'd argue what's more dangerous is forgetting what we had in the first place. The day our brother D'Angelo passed, people were understandably sad. Per usual, we celebrated his life by playing his music and reminiscing. The timeline was filled with heartfelt messages from his peers, tributes, and videos of his past performances. One user shared their archive of D'Angelo's work, and it was met with mostly positive feedback. But one tweet read, "Why is this white man archiving D'Angelo's music?" And due to the inflammatory nature of social media, an argument began instead of a discussion. And whether or not the question was from a genuine concern or not, I do think it is important to not just gloss over things like that. No disrespect to this man. This isn't really about him. There is a lesson to be learned in who controls our stories and ultimately who decides what is remembered. Archiving is one of, if not the most important job in history, simply because it preserves said history as it was. No rewrites, no edits, no victor's cuts, videos, photos, newspaper clippings, research, books that you should definitely be reading, and so much more. Every single time we jump to a new format or technology advances majorly, we lose some form of information with that. It's not always some major event, a book burning. This happens every day in your everyday life. Vine shut down, MySpace, Urban Chat, all your favorite videos and links and whatever it is could be unplayable tomorrow, within the hour really. In my case, I just recently asked my family if anyone had the old family videos for my own backup digital archive. My mother says my dad has them. My dad says my mother has them. One of you niggas is lying. But the point remains, the rest of the family will lose those moments because of their stubbornness and inability to properly store those tapes. If someone had taken the time out of their day and thought about the future, we wouldn't be in this scenario. But this isn't just about personal memories. What about proofs of work, early films, thousands of hours of black actors, directors, production companies? A large swath of those are gone. Years of music and TV, civil rights footage, unrecoverable because the proverbial they couldn't be bothered to preserve it. And because of that, these moments in time exist on the fringes of public memory. Black history hasn't just been forgotten, it's been taken, deleted, and purposefully distorted. So when we talk about archiving, we're not talking about preserving just memories. We're talking about protecting our existence from being rewritten, because Black history is always under scrutiny. I mean, have you seen the looks on people's faces when you say things like, "We invented rock and roll"? Not only do they not believe you, they scoff at the idea. How could this black scoundrel be the progenitor of the music that I love? I think not. Or it gets minimized into a sarcastic, "Oh, black people just invented everything, didn't they?" When that was never said. No one's saying black people invented everything, but we're saying the things that we did invent, we would like maybe a little credit for. And the intention of them saying that is not to give credit for what we did invent, it's to bring in so many other things that they leave with the false conclusion that our people didn't invent anything. And that is not a mistake. History, the overwhelming majority of the population learned, was through the lens of people who wanted to erase our people's contributions. I'm sure you have people in your family that were alive during the time because you're here. Stories from your parents, grandparents, other elders about the struggles of growing up during Jim Crow. How old were you when you saw things from that era? Seeing things from the era really drove the point home. These pieces of history still exist because of archives and museums, because someone dedicated a part of their life to preserving this history. And we've seen attempts to restrict and rewrite our history recently, all because someone wants to omit parts that don't benefit them. Marion Stokes took the time to record over 35 years of television with the intent to preserve history and prevent it from being recontextualized. Do y'all know what Black famous is? That's when someone or something is popular within the Black community, but not really well known outside of. I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. Soul, gospel, and R&B were mainstay genres in my household growing up. So among them was D'Angelo. To me, he has always been a superstar. But even so, I would still say D'Angelo is Black famous. He's on the very high end of that, but I would still say outside of us, he would be considered niche. And that was intentional. D'Angelo wanted to make Black music. music. He wanted to remain in black circles. Quoting this, "I'm making black music. That's the only outline for me, really. That's the only boundary to stay with. It's soul music. I'm going all out in those terms." With that, with staying in black circles comes lower visibility, and as such, a vulnerability to the more predatory practices of the industry. He knew the cost. We cannot let him down. We have to preserve black music before they start talking about Justin Bieber created R&B. Black exploitation in the music industry goes way back and comes in many forms. Royalty issues. I mean, there wasn't an issue collecting them. There was just an issue with them wanting to pay their black artists out. They instead would pay them a flat rate fee, while their white counterparts were paid significantly more through both flat rates and royalties. People's knee-jerk reaction to hearing this is usually, well, they should have asked for more, but that completely ignores the environment and the times that they were in. And it doesn't end there. Sometimes they just straight up steal some shit. A tale as old as time. Black artists create something, it becomes popular, white artists take it to sell to their audience, and due to the audience's previous reluctance to listen to the black music, they come back with the idea that the white artists created that. Then they deny black people's involvement entirely. If that doesn't work, they prop up themselves as the proper way to do it. What I do isn't that Judeo-Negroid. This is proper European music. And yes, those are words from a real person. No one is saying black people created everything. But for people like that to admit that we had a hand in anything is to give us too much credit. And it's designed that way. It's built that way for those people to thrive. Because the quiet part is, all of this is done for a predominantly white audience that consumes black media as content. Black culture is profitable. Black people are disposable.
That's okay. I know how to build a business. You got to get the black people to do it to get the white people to do it. Then you got to get the black people to stop doing it. One step at a time.
The same people who say they love this music will turn around and hate the people who make it. And once they can't access and speak on everything that they want to, they lose it. Because the infrastructure is built around you as a resource, not a person. You can't possibly know more about your own culture and your people than them. You are an unreliable narrator. And this is not me saying every single white person in hip hop spaces is malicious. That's disingenuous. I'm saying the mistrust is understandable. There is a history of people using blackness as a commodity without respecting black people or their culture. I have no problem with other people being welcomed. The issue arises when these people say something out of pocket or they get information wrong and someone corrects them and then they try to tell us about us. What are you talking about? About things that you had to be there for, that you had to grow up in. Why am I talking to a guy who discovered Childish Gambino in 2016 about the definition of corny nigga when he's from Sweden? You don't know the definition of a corny nigga. You've never seen a corny nigga in your life. These people also tend to erase the first couple of paragraphs when they tell a story, you know, like the black part. And when things like that accumulate, what happens is slang becomes internet speak. But you still speaking properly. That's not your language. This fashion did not come from you. K-pop definitely is not influenced by R&B at all. Even this very conversation will be co-opted and people will say, that's not unique to black people, when I never said that, because that's what they were taught. Instead of addressing the reasons I need to say this, they only interject to protect the status quo. We have to make a concerted effort to preserve our own history. No one else is going to do it. And if we don't, we will run into this issue over and over again. People are saying things like, I feel like our generation would have fought back during slavery. And part of me wants to think this is just engagement bait, which is a problem to address another day. But the larger part of me is saying, wow, this is years of the Pilgrims and the Native Americans just grew corn together. Propaganda come to fruition. Okay. Let me clarify to some of y'all. Enslaved people fought back tooth and nail in ways that you could not fathom. How could someone make a culture and business around catching runaways if there weren't any? How could someone possibly come to the conclusion that someone would risk not just their own life, but their family's lives to taste a freedom they've never even seen with their own eyes, while under constant surveillance and at the risk of perishing in the most unimaginable ways that were conjured up for the express purpose of deterring others from trying to do the same when they couldn't even get coffee from another shop for more than a couple of weeks? What are you talking about? Y'all won't do the bare minimum now. This is the result of letting someone else tell your history and letting them water it down and take small pieces out until you come to the conclusion, oh, that didn't seem like that bad. Archiving is for the people. That's exactly why most of them are free and ran by activists, because they understand knowledge keeps people free. Marion Stokes archived all that footage. It was not at no cost to her. It took time. They needed 4 shipping containers to move that collection. We can't leave it up to Demon Slayer 69 to keep its videos up. We definitely can't leave it up to YouTube. Someone needs to archive it, and it could be you. Support Black archives. Be a Black archive. You can keep a small hard drive. Damn, I'm fucking ramen. You can keep a small hard drive, or my favorite, go the physical media route. I like things that I can touch, things that cannot be edited, or you can just do both. Please don't get wrapped up in doing everything at one time and burning out. You keep a piece, I keep a piece, and it lives on in our possession. Knowledge is power. Learn your history. Read your history, please. There is a reason that they used to burn books and leave people illiterate and beat people for reading. Nowadays, they just convince people that there's no information that they need other than what's provided to them.
You know what the most dangerous thing in America is, right? Nigga with a library card.
Y'all be safe.